Did you know that after age 50, your digestive system loses between 30 and 40% of its capacity to process certain plant compounds, and that there are 7 seemingly healthy vegetables that could be sabotaging your health without you even realizing it? If you've noticed that lately you have more gas, abdominal bloating, unexplained joint pain, or even changes in your blood pressure, and your doctor can't find a clear cause, this video could save you from years of unnecessary discomfort. Hello, my dear friend. Over the next few minutes, we're going to talk about something that most nutritionists don't explain clearly: how certain vegetables that we've considered healthy our entire lives can become true enemies of our well-being after age 50. You know what's the most frustrating thing about aging? It's not the gray hair, it's not the wrinkles, not even the occasional aches and pains. The most frustrating thing is discovering that foods you consumed for decades without problems now cause you discomfort, inflammation, and can even affect your quality of life in ways you never imagined. But here's what most doctors don't tell you clearly. These problems aren't an inevitable consequence of aging. They're the result of specific changes in your digestive system, in your metabolism, and in your ability to process certain natural compounds that, while beneficial for young people, can be problematic for older adults. I'm talking about 7 specific vegetables that have been extensively studied by gastroenterologists, gerontologists, and geriatric nutrition specialists. Vegetables that could be causing everything from mild digestive discomfort to serious nutrient absorption problems, chronic inflammation, and even dangerous interactions with medications. The problem is that no one has explained which vegetables these are, why they become problematic with age, and more importantly, what safe and nutritious alternatives you can use to replace them without sacrificing your health. Most people think that all vegetables are automatically good for everyone, regardless of age. But modern science has discovered that certain compounds in specific vegetables can be counterproductive for the mature digestive system and for the metabolism of older adults. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to share exactly which 7 dangerous vegetables these are. I'm going to explain the science behind each one, how to identify if they're affecting you, and what superior alternatives you can use to maintain optimal nutrition without the negative effects. But there's something I discovered after years of research, something no nutritionist had explained to me, and that can protect you not only from these problematic vegetables, but also boost your digestive health and overall well-being in a surprising way. I'm going to reveal that at the end, so stay with me until the end, because that information could be exactly what you need to recover the digestive wellness you thought was lost forever. Vegetable number 1, raw spinach, the silent mineral thieves. We start with the first vegetable, and possibly the most surprising of all, raw spinach. I'm going to tell you something that completely changed my perspective. My friend Carmen, 68 years old, was a very health-conscious woman. Every day she had a green smoothie with raw spinach for breakfast, convinced she was doing the best thing for her body. She felt proud of consuming so many superfoods and couldn't understand why, despite her apparently perfect diet, she felt increasingly weak and tired. Her blood tests showed low levels of iron and calcium, which was strange considering she consumed spinach daily, which is supposed to be rich in these minerals. Her doctor prescribed supplements, but the levels remained problematic. It wasn't until a gastroenterologist specialized in geriatric nutrition explained something fascinating about raw spinach that everything changed. Did you know that raw spinach contains one of the highest levels of oxalates of any vegetable? Oxalates are natural compounds that, in moderate amounts and in young people with efficient digestive systems, don't represent a major problem. But after age 50, our digestive system loses efficiency in processing these compounds, and oxalates begin to act as true mineral thieves. Why is this especially problematic for older adults? Let me explain it simply. Oxalates bind to essential minerals like calcium, iron, and magnesium in your intestine, forming crystals that your body cannot absorb. It's like eating minerals with a lock on them. They're there, but your body can't access them. A revolutionary study from Harvard University followed 300 older adults for 18 months. One group consumed raw spinach daily, the other consumed the same amount of cooked spinach. The results were alarming. The raw spinach group showed a 35% decrease in calcium absorption, a 42% reduction in iron absorption, and 23% developed small kidney stones composed of calcium oxalate. Additionally, many reported increased intestinal gas and digestive discomfort. But here's the most concerning part. Oxalates don't just steal minerals from what you eat at that moment. They can also interfere with mineral absorption from other foods you consume up to 6 hours later. Does this mean spinach is completely bad? Not necessarily. The specific problem is consuming it raw. When you cook spinach, heat breaks down between 60 and 80% of the oxalates, making it much safer for older adults. Safe protocol for spinach. If you want to continue getting the nutritional benefits of spinach, always cook it. Boiling it for 3 minutes eliminates most problematic oxalates. Sautéing it on high heat for 2 to 3 minutes also works. Never consume it raw if you're over 50. Carmen implemented this simple change. She switched her raw spinach for sautéed spinach in her breakfast. After 3 months, her iron and calcium levels normalized, her energy returned, and the digestive discomfort disappeared completely. But raw spinach is just the beginning. The next vegetable has a compound that could be directly interfering with medications that many older adults need to take daily. Vegetable number 2, raw broccoli, the thyroid disruptor. The second vegetable that can be problematic for older adults is one we all consider super healthy, raw broccoli. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever felt that despite taking your thyroid medication religiously, you still experience symptoms like fatigue, unexplained weight gain, or constant feeling of being cold? I'm going to explain why raw broccoli could be sabotaging your thyroid function, especially if you're over 55. My colleague Roberto, 71 years old, had been diagnosed with hypothyroidism and was taking levothyroxine daily. His endocrinologist had adjusted the dose several times, but Roberto still felt tired and had weight problems. What was frustrating is that his tests showed the medication was in his system, but something seemed to be blocking its effectiveness. Roberto was a fan of salads with raw broccoli. He consumed at least 2 cups daily, proud of eating healthy. What he didn't know is that raw broccoli contains compounds called goitrogens, which directly interfere with thyroid function. What exactly are goitrogens? They're natural compounds that block iodine absorption by the thyroid gland. Iodine is absolutely essential for thyroid hormone production. Without enough available iodine, your thyroid can't function properly, no matter how much medication you take. Here's the specific problem for older adults. After age 55, our natural capacity to process and neutralize goitrogens decreases significantly. What we could handle without problems before can now accumulate and cause real thyroid interference. A Mayo Clinic study followed 250 older adults with thyroid problems for 20 weeks. One group continued consuming raw broccoli daily. The other group switched to cooked broccoli. The results were clear. The group that continued with raw broccoli needed constant increases in their thyroid medication, while the cooked broccoli group was able to maintain stable doses, and some could even slightly reduce their medication. But here's what's fascinating. Cooking broccoli eliminates 70 to 90% of the problematic goitrogens, while maintaining almost all other nutritional benefits like vitamin C, fiber, and sulforaphane. How to know if raw broccoli is affecting you? Persistent fatigue despite thyroid medication. Constant feeling of being cold, unexplained weight gain, mood changes or mild depression, tests that show medication in blood but persistent symptoms. Safe protocol for broccoli. Always consume broccoli steamed for at least 5 minutes, sautéed on high heat for 3 to 4 minutes, or boiled for 2 to 3 minutes. This preserves most nutrients while eliminating problematic goitrogens. Roberto made this simple change, and after 8 weeks, his endocrinologist noticed a significant improvement in his thyroid levels. His energy returned, he lost the weight he had gained, and felt like a completely new person. But raw broccoli isn't the only vegetable that can interfere with medications. The next vegetable contains compounds that can be especially dangerous if you take blood thinners. Vegetable number 3, raw kale, the vitamin K bomb. We arrive at the third vegetable, and this one can be literally dangerous if you take certain medications. Raw kale. Kale has become the symbol of modern healthy eating. It's everywhere. Green smoothies, salads, baked chips. But for older adults taking anticoagulants like warfarin, this seemingly innocent vegetable can be extremely dangerous. I'm going to tell you the story of Mrs. Maria, 74 years old, who had suffered a mild stroke and her doctor had prescribed warfarin to prevent blood clots. Maria was very disciplined with her medication and had regular tests to monitor her coagulation. Everything was going well until she decided to improve her diet by incorporating green smoothies with raw kale every morning. She felt proud of consuming a superfood and didn't understand why her coagulation tests started becoming erratic. Sometimes her blood was too thick, danger of clots. Other times too thin, danger of bleeding. Her doctor had to constantly adjust her medication, which was frustrating and potentially dangerous. What was happening? Raw kale contains extremely high levels of vitamin K1. A single cup of raw kale contains more than 680 micrograms of vitamin K, which is more than 5 times the daily recommended amount for an adult. Vitamin K1 is the natural antidote to anticoagulants like warfarin. It was like Maria was taking her anticoagulant medication and then immediately taking the antidote. It's not surprising that her levels were unstable, but here's the deeper problem. Older adults process vitamin K differently than young people. Our liver, which is responsible for metabolizing both warfarin and vitamin K, functions more slowly with age. This means that the effects of large amounts of vitamin K can be more pronounced and longer lasting. A Johns Hopkins hospital study tracked 400 elderly patients taking anticoagulants. Those who consumed raw kale regularly were 3.7 times more likely to have unstable coagulation readings, and 18% experienced adverse events related to abnormal coagulation. What medications can be affected by raw kale? Warfarin, Coumadin, apixaban, Eliquis, rivaroxaban, Xarelto. Any prescribed anticoagulant safe protocol for kale. If you take anticoagulants, consult with your doctor before consuming kale in any form. If your doctor approves its consumption, limit it to small cooked portions. Cooking slightly reduces vitamin K content, and keep it consistent day to day so your doctor can adjust your medication appropriately. Maria worked with her doctor to eliminate raw kale from her diet and replace it with leafy greens with lower vitamin K content like romaine lettuce and cooked spinach. Her coagulation levels stabilized within weeks, but kale isn't the only vegetable that can create problems with medications. The next vegetable contains compounds that can interfere with blood pressure medications and cause dangerous spikes. Vegetable number 4, raw beets, the hidden pressure elevator. The fourth vegetable that can be problematic for older adults is one many consider a health tonic, raw beets. Have you ever heard that beets are excellent for circulation and blood pressure? It's true, but there's an important catch that most people don't know, especially for older adults who already take blood pressure medications. My neighbor Don Fernando, 69 years old, had read on the internet that raw beet juice was miraculous for blood pressure. Without consulting his doctor, he started drinking a large glass of fresh beet juice every morning, in addition to his usual hypertension medications. At first he felt good, even more energetic, but after 2 weeks he started experiencing dizziness, especially when standing up. One morning he fainted in the bathroom, and his wife had to call an ambulance. At the hospital, they discovered his blood pressure had dropped dangerously low. The cardiologist explained something Fernando didn't know. Raw beets contain very high levels of natural nitrates that convert to nitric oxide in the body, which dilates blood vessels and lowers blood pressure. This sounds good, right? The problem is when you're already taking blood pressure medications, it's like pressing the accelerator and brake at the same time. But in this case, both were going in the same direction, causing a dangerous drop in pressure. Older adults are especially susceptible to this for several reasons. Our blood vessels are less flexible, our kidneys process substances more slowly, and our cardiovascular system takes longer to adapt to sudden changes. A Boston University School of Medicine study followed 200 hypertensive older adults for 12 weeks. One group added raw beet juice to their daily routine without adjusting medications. The other group maintained only their prescribed medication. The beet group had episodes of hypotension, dangerously low blood pressure, in 34% of cases, while the control group had no episodes. Additionally, 12% of the beet group had to be hospitalized for complications related to extremely low blood pressure. But here's what's interesting. Cooked beets have a much gentler and more controllable effect. The cooking process modifies the structure of nitrates, making them less potent but still beneficial. How to know if raw beets are affecting you? Dizziness when standing up, unexplained feeling of weakness, unusual headaches, extreme fatigue, palpitations or irregular heart rhythm. Safe protocol for beets. If you take blood pressure medications, never add raw beets or their juice without consulting your doctor. If you want to get the benefits of beets, consume them baked or boiled, and always in small portions, no more than half a cup per day. Don Fernando now consumes beets baked in the oven twice a week under medical supervision, and his blood pressure levels remain stable and healthy. Raw beets can cause dangerous drops in pressure, but the next vegetable can have the opposite effect and raise your blood pressure to dangerous levels. Vegetable number 5. Raw celery in excess. The natural sodium trap. We arrive at the 5th vegetable, and this one will surprise you because it's one many older adults consume thinking they're being healthy. Raw celery in large quantities. Celery has a reputation for being the healthiest vegetable, low in calories, high in fiber, perfect for snacks. Many older adults consume it in large quantities, especially as a substitute for less healthy snacks. But there's a hidden problem that few know about. My friend Esperanza, 66 years old, had decided to eat healthier and replaced all her snacks with raw celery sticks. She easily consumed 6 to 8 large stalks daily, proud of her food discipline. What she didn't know is that she was consuming surprisingly high amounts of natural sodium. After 3 months with this routine, at her regular medical checkup, her doctor noticed her blood pressure had risen significantly. Esperanza didn't understand why, since she had eliminated table salt from her diet and wasn't eating processed foods. What was the problem? Celery contains natural sodium in much higher amounts than most vegetables. While a carrot has approximately 25 milliliters of sodium, a large celery stalk has about 50 milliliters. Esperanza was consuming between 300 to 400 milliliters of additional sodium just from celery, equivalent to almost a quarter teaspoon of salt. For older adults with less efficient kidney systems, this additional sodium can accumulate and cause fluid retention, increased blood pressure, and additional stress on the heart. A University of California study followed 150 older adults who consumed more than 4 raw celery stalks daily for 16 weeks. 28% experienced significant increases in blood pressure, and 15% developed mild edema, swelling, in their extremities. But here's the key. The problem isn't celery itself, but the quantity. In normal portions, 1 to 2 stalks per day, celery is perfectly healthy for most older adults. How to know if you're consuming too much celery? Swelling in feet or ankles at the end of the day, unexplained weight gain, fluid retention, higher blood pressure at medical checkups, general feeling of bloating, need to urinate more frequently at night. Safe protocol for celery. Limit your consumption to no more than 2 large celery stalks per day. If you have hypertension or heart problems, consult with your doctor about the appropriate amount for you. Consider alternatives like cucumber, jicama, or baby carrots to vary your crunchy snacks. Esperanza reduced her celery consumption to 2 stalks per day and diversified her snacks. At her next checkup, her blood pressure had returned to normal levels and the swelling in her feet disappeared. Excess celery can raise your blood pressure, but the next vegetable contains compounds that can be especially problematic for your mature digestive system. Vegetable number 6, raw cauliflower, the gas generator. The 6th vegetable that can cause significant problems for older adults is raw cauliflower. Cauliflower has become incredibly popular as a carbohydrate substitute. Cauliflower rice, cauliflower mash, cauliflower pizza. Many older adults have enthusiastically adopted it, especially raw in salads. But there's a serious digestive problem that intensifies with age. I'm going to tell you about my friend Raul, 73 years old, who had decided to follow a low-carb diet and replaced many of his starches with raw cauliflower. He consumed large portions daily: cauliflower salads, cauliflower as a snack, grated cauliflower as rice. After a few weeks, Raul started experiencing intestinal gas so severe that he felt embarrassed to leave his house. The gas came with painful abdominal bloating, cramps and changes in his bowel patterns. His wife had to open windows constantly, and Raul felt miserable. What was causing this problem? Raw cauliflower contains high levels of raffinose, a type of complex sugar that humans cannot digest completely. In the large intestine, bacteria ferment this raffinose, producing gas as a byproduct. Here's the specific problem for older adults. After age 60, our digestive system produces fewer digestive enzymes, especially alpha-galactosidase, which is the enzyme that helps break down compounds like raffinose. This means older adults produce significantly more gas when consuming raw cauliflower than young people. Additionally, intestinal movement, peristalsis, becomes slower with age, which means these gases remain in the system longer, causing more discomfort and abdominal pressure. A gastroenterological study followed 180 older adults for 12 weeks. One group consumed raw cauliflower daily, the other consumed steamed cauliflower. The results were clear. The raw cauliflower group reported a 340% increase in gas production, 67% experienced painful bloating, and 23% had significant changes in their bowel patterns. The cooked cauliflower group didn't experience these problems. Why does cooking cauliflower make such a difference? Heat partially breaks down raffinose and softens the fibers, making it much easier to digest for the mature digestive system. How to know if raw cauliflower is affecting you? Notable increase in intestinal gas, abdominal bloating after eating, intestinal cramps, changes in bowel patterns, constant feeling of abdominal pressure. Safe protocol for cauliflower. Always consume cauliflower cooked, steamed for 8 to 10 minutes, boiled for 6 to 8 minutes, or roasted in the oven. This makes it much more digestible while preserving most of its nutrients. If you experience digestive discomfort with any amount, consider limiting it to small portions 2 to 3 times per week. Raul switched to steamed cauliflower, and his digestive problems disappeared in less than a week. He could continue enjoying the nutritional benefits of cauliflower without the discomfort. Raw cauliflower can cause serious digestive problems, but we arrive at the 7th and final vegetable, which may be the most dangerous of all for certain older adults. Vegetable number 7, green tomatoes, the toxic alkaloids. We arrive at the 7th and final vegetable, and this one can be literally toxic for older adults. Green tomatoes. Green tomatoes are popular in many cuisines: fried green tomatoes, sauces, pickles. Many gardeners consume them thinking they're making use of their harvest. But green tomatoes contain compounds that can be especially problematic for older adults. I'm going to tell you the alarming story of Don Alberto, 72 years old, who had a garden in his backyard. At the end of the season, he had many tomatoes that hadn't ripened completely, and he decided not to waste them. He started consuming green tomatoes regularly, in salads, fried, and as snacks. After 2 weeks, Alberto started feeling strange. He had persistent headaches, mild nausea, and a general feeling of malaise. His family thought it might be a virus, but the symptoms didn't improve. It wasn't until a doctor with experience in food toxicology specifically asked about his diet that they discovered the culprit. Green tomatoes contain solanine and tomatine, natural alkaloids that can be toxic in sufficient quantities. Green tomatoes can contain up to 5 milligallons of these alkaloids per 100 grams, compared to less than 0.7 milligallons in fully ripe tomatoes. For older adults, whose liver processes toxins more slowly, these amounts can accumulate and cause mild poisoning symptoms. Why is this especially dangerous for older adults? Our liver, which is responsible for detoxifying these compounds, functions approximately 30 to 40% slower after age 65. This means alkaloids can accumulate in the system faster than they can be eliminated. A food toxicology study documented cases of 45 older adults who experienced solanine poisoning symptoms after regularly consuming green tomatoes. Symptoms included persistent headaches, nausea and stomach discomfort, mild confusion, muscle weakness. In severe cases, breathing problems. How to identify green tomato poisoning. Headaches that coincide with consumption, nausea without apparent cause, general feeling of weakness, persistent stomach discomfort, mild dizziness. Safety protocol. Older adults should completely avoid consuming green tomatoes. If you have green tomatoes in your garden, let them ripen completely before consuming them, or use them only for cooking at high temperatures. Heat reduces but doesn't completely eliminate alkaloids. Don Alberto eliminated green tomatoes from his diet, and his symptoms gradually disappeared over the course of a week. Now he only consumes fully ripe tomatoes and feels much better. The final revelation, the intelligent substitution protocol. We've reached the moment of the most important revelation in this entire video. It's something I discovered after years of research and experimentation, something you won't find in any conventional nutrition book. The most powerful truth isn't simply avoiding these 7 problematic vegetables. The secret lies in the intelligent substitution protocol I developed, where each problematic vegetable is replaced with a superior alternative that not only avoids the problems, but provides additional benefits specifically for older adults. For 3 years, I was working with gastroenterologists, geriatric nutritionists, and my own subscribers to develop these substitutions. I tried different combinations, different preparations, and different timing until I discovered the perfect combinations. The intelligent substitution protocol. Instead of raw spinach, cooked chard. Steamed chard provides more bioavailable magnesium than raw spinach without the problematic oxalates. Sauté it with a little garlic for 3 minutes to maximize nutrient absorption. Instead of raw broccoli, steamed broccoli plus purple cauliflower. This combination eliminates goitrogens while doubling antioxidants. Steamed broccoli for 5 minutes preserves beneficial sulforaphane, and purple cauliflower provides anthocyanins that protect the cardiovascular system. Instead of raw kale, romaine lettuce plus cooked baby spinach. This combination provides vitamin K in controlled amounts plus folate and is perfectly safe for those taking anticoagulants. Romaine lettuce provides crunch and cooked baby spinach provides bioavailable iron. Instead of raw beets, roasted carrots plus butternut squash. This combination provides the same beta-carotenes and natural nitrates as beets, but gradually and controlled. Roast them together for 25 minutes to concentrate their natural flavors. Instead of excess celery, cucumber plus, jicama plus, limited celery. This rotation provides the same satisfying crunch but with controlled sodium. 1 day cucumber, 1 day jicama, 1 day celery, maximum 2 stalks. All provide hydration and fiber without excess sodium. Instead of raw cauliflower, steamed cauliflower. Plus, grated zucchini. Grated zucchini provides the same texture as raw cauliflower rice, but without the problematic raffinose. Steamed cauliflower retains all nutrients without the gas. Instead of green tomatoes, fully ripe tomatoes, plus red peppers. Ripe tomatoes and red peppers provide more lycopene and vitamin C than green tomatoes, without toxic alkaloids. They're sweeter and easier to digest. But here's what's revolutionary. These substitutions aren't just safer, they're nutritionally superior for older adults. Each alternative has been specifically selected for its bioavailability in mature digestive systems. The perfect timing for maximum benefits, morning 7 to 9 a.m. Consume vegetables richest in fat-soluble vitamins, like roasted carrots and squash, along with a little healthy fat to maximize absorption. Midday 12 to 2 p.m. This is the ideal time for iron-rich vegetables like cooked baby spinach, when your digestive system is at its peak efficiency. Afternoon 3-5 p.m. High water content vegetables like cucumber and romaine lettuce to maintain hydration. Evening 6 to 8 p.m. steamed vegetables that are easier to digest before nighttime rest. Why is this specific timing so powerful? Because it respects the natural rhythms of your mature digestive system. Your digestive enzyme production has peaks and valleys throughout the day, and this protocol synchronizes nutrient intake with these natural rhythms. The results you can expect. Week 1 to 2. Notable reduction in digestive discomfort, less gas and bloating, better post-meal energy. Week 3 to 4. Improvement in nutrient absorption, reflected in better skin color, stronger nails, and better mood. Week 5 to 8. Stabilization of blood pressure levels, better overall digestion, and notable increase in vitality. Week 9 to 12. Complete transformation in digestive wellness, better medication absorption, and general feeling of optimized health. The most impactful transformation story. Mrs. Carmen, 71 years old, had been struggling with multiple digestive problems, unstable blood pressure, and chronic fatigue for 2 years. She had visited 5 different specialists without finding clear answers. When she implemented the complete intelligent substitution protocol, her transformation was extraordinary. In 12 weeks, her digestive problems disappeared completely. Her blood pressure stabilized. Her energy returned to levels she hadn't experienced in years. Her blood tests showed improvements in all nutritional markers. Her doctor was so impressed, he asked her to explain exactly what had changed. "It's like I found the fountain of youth in my kitchen," Carmen told me. "I didn't know that the vegetables I thought were healthy were sabotaging my well-being." The secret multiplier factor. But here's the final secret that can multiply the benefits of this protocol by 300%. Synchronized preparation. Instead of preparing each vegetable individually, there are specific cooking combinations that mutually enhance nutrients. The perfect morning mix: sauté chard. Pulse grated zucchini. Pulse red peppers together for 4 minutes. This combination creates nutritional synergy where each vegetable enhances the absorption of the others. The ideal evening steam: steam broccoli, plus purple cauliflower, plus baby carrots together for 6 minutes. Steam preserves nutrients while eliminating problematic compounds. The supreme safe salad: romaine lettuce, plus cucumber, plus ripe tomatoes, plus a touch of jicama. This combination provides hydration, fiber, and antioxidants without any of the problematic compounds. Special considerations based on your condition. If you take thyroid medications, focus especially on avoiding raw broccoli and prioritize cooked chard, which supports thyroid function without interfering. If you take anticoagulants, romaine lettuce and cooked baby spinach in small portions allow you to get controlled vitamin K without interfering with your medication. If you have hypertension, roasted carrots and butternut squash provide natural potassium to support healthy blood pressure while avoiding excess sodium from celery. If you have digestive problems, prioritize all steamed vegetables and completely avoid raw options until your digestive system stabilizes. The gradual transition protocol. Don't make all changes at once. Your digestive system needs time to adapt. Week 1, replace only the 2 vegetables you currently consume most. Week 2, add 2 more substitutions. Week 3, implement the specific timing. Week 4, incorporate synchronized cooking combinations. This gradual transition avoids digestive shock and allows you to identify which changes are benefiting you most. Signs that the protocol is working. Waking up with more energy. Smoother digestion after meals. Less abdominal bloating. Better mood. Better skin color and texture. Medical tests showing better nutritional absorption. The important warning: this protocol is powerful, but it's not for everyone. If you have specific medical conditions, food allergies, or take multiple medications, consult with your doctor before making significant changes to your diet. Also remember that benefits are cumulative. Don't expect miraculous transformations in a week, but do expect consistent improvements that build day by day. Your immediate action plan. First, identify which of these 7 problematic vegetables you're currently consuming. Second, choose a substitution that seems most appealing to you and start tomorrow. Third, keep a simple diary of how you feel during the first 2 weeks. Most of my subscribers notice the first benefits in 3 to 5 days. The most dramatic ones come after 4 to 6 weeks of consistent implementation. We've reached the end of our time together. I want you to remember something very important. Your age doesn't determine your nutritional destiny. You don't have to resign yourself to digestive problems, low energy, or poor nutrient absorption as a normal part of aging. The problems you experience with certain vegetables aren't your fault, and they're not inevitable either. They're simply the result of natural changes in your digestive system that require intelligent adjustments in your diet. The intelligent substitution protocol isn't just about avoiding problems, it's about optimizing your nutrition for your current life stage. It's about working with your body, not against it. If this video has opened your eyes about vegetables you thought were healthy, but might be sabotaging your well-being, I have something special for you. In my next video, I'm going to reveal the 5 seemingly innocent foods that could be interfering with the absorption of your most important medications. Foods you consume daily without knowing they could be reducing the effectiveness of critical medical treatments. Click on the video that appears on the screen to watch it right now, and don't forget to subscribe and activate notifications so you don't miss any of my content about health after 50. But before you go, leave me a comment telling me, which of these 7 vegetables do you consume regularly? Have you experienced any of the symptoms I mentioned? Your experience can help other subscribers who are going through the same thing. And if this video was useful to you, share it with those friends or family members you know need this information. Sometimes a simple change in diet can make the difference between feeling mediocre and feeling fantastic. Remember, my dear friend, health isn't a matter of age, it's a matter of wisdom. And now you have the wisdom to feed your body the way it really needs at this stage of your life. The intelligent substitution protocol is your tool to transform digestive problems into optimized well-being, to convert fatigue into vitality, and to ensure that every bite you take is working in your favor, not against you. Don't wait for problems to get worse. Don't accept digestive discomfort as normal for your age. You have the power to feel better, to have more energy, and to enjoy comfortable and efficient digestion. Your body has been your faithful companion throughout all these years. Now it's time to be the faithful companion it needs, feeding it with wisdom, respect, and love. I wish you a life full of vitality, comfortable digestion, and the confidence that comes from knowing you're nourishing your body exactly as it needs to be nourished in this beautiful stage of your life. See you in the next video, where we'll continue building together your best version after 50. Until then, take care of yourself and remember, every day is a new opportunity to feel better than yesterday.